Hello, and welcome back to the Holistic Witch's Cottage. My name is Melissa, and I am the Holistic Witch. And today's topic will be about signs in nature and some other things, and we'll just see how it all blends together. So I popped in on Tuesday and just did a super short podcast because I had roofers upon my roof and it was very noisy and very weird, and Momo the Wonder Dog was very agitated with the whole thing. So I went down into the Spooky-O thinking that would be the quietest place to do a recording, and even down there it was still quite noisy. So just popped in to let you all know, but they were done. Actually, they were done Tuesday. I can't believe how quickly they got done, but we have a new roof on the cottage, probably the biggest. Well, when we did the driveway, that was a big expense too, but so this is the number 2 biggest expense we've ever put into the cottage. I've told this story before. The cottage was sort of a foreclosure and then a tax sale house, which we got super cheap, but needed much work. And we've been here over 20 years, and with a horrific winter and sustainable 70-mile-an-hour winds, we had some roof damage. We had the insurance guys sent their guys with their little magic drone to go up on the roof and take looks, and you know, with what's it called, when whatever, you know, insurance terms, with depreciation and stuff, that didn't pan out as well as we had hoped. But we found a local roofer and a what we felt was a good deal, so we decided to just put a new roof on the cottage, and we're getting older, so hopefully this new roof will last past our lifespans with the warranty, which is quite a long one. So that's good. It's always good to be able to maintain and upgrade what you have. So that's awesome. So that's why we're a little later in the week this week. Recap, we had a little camping adventure last week and got caught in a flash flood. I put up some videos of that. Everybody's okay, but that was kind of wild. Not our first rodeo at that, because we camp so often. We've been in tornadoes and tornado warnings and microbursts and floods before, because in our part of the world, sometimes those things just pop out with little warning. So that was kind of crazy. And then we had roofers. The roofers were very concerned about all of the flowers and all the nature habitat I have here around the cottage. They used tarps and were very careful not to disturb anything. Some things are a little smushy, but I don't think we lost any plants. Everything is giving it a little extra water and a little extra love. It's been very hot again here, 95 yesterday. So some extra love to the cottage herbs and plants, but everything's doing well. So I want to start this one a little differently, just with a little book review. I'm kind of in this mood where I'm reading witchy books. Witchy books don't always resonate with me because sometimes magical fiction is so fiction-y, so over the top, corny, that I can't get into it. But I just completed a book a few days ago. It was called The Girl Who Drank the Moon, which would, in our library, it's under like juvenile chapter books, MG, middle grade stuff. This is probably my favorite book that I have read this year. It is a Newbery Award winner and written by Kelly Barnhill. And I would recommend this to anyone. If you like witchy fantasy that isn't graphic or spicy romance, this was a lovely, well-written, well-designed story. This is also one that you could read to your children if you're trying to... Back when I was on the pagan homeschooling pages, which I was mod for a few and stuff like that, parents were always asking ways to introduce their pagan path or their witchy path to their kids. And it always kind of, how do I say this nicely and discreetly? Sometimes it bothered me because, in Christianity, especially the more aggressive Christians, have no problem pushing Christianity at their children from a very, very young age, like infant to toddler. I'm not saying you should ever push religion or beliefs on a child, but sometimes it surprises me in the pagan communities that people hide their spirituality from their children. I'm not sure how that looks in a house. If you're in the broom closet, I get it for whatever reason, family issues or in-laws or whatever. But if you're not, I'm not sure what that looks like to completely hide your spirituality from other individuals who live in your home with you. Because all you need to do is walk into our house and see, a plaque, a cross, a book, statues, icons, whatever, and you're instantly going to know that there are Christian aspects, but there are also non-Christian aspects, like dream catchers and chimes and witch bells on the door, to see that there's something eclectic happening in my home. So I'm not sure what it looks like to hide magic from your kids. And that's actually one of the concepts in this book. So this book is written in a fictional place, maybe in the past, maybe far in the future. I wanted to give a review without spoilers. So the other thing about really good fiction is it parallels things that are happening in the real world. And I think the author did a pretty excellent job of doing that, especially because this is an older book. Well, not super old. I think 2016 is the copyright. And one of the themes in this book is sorrow and how the people in charge benefit from controlling the people in their town or their nation or their realm, and how they financially benefit from it, and how they actually enjoy and profit from bringing sorrow. And the concept of sorrow eating is very, very big in this book too. So in the book, in this fictional town or realm called the Protectorate, once a year, the youngest baby born, the youngest child, is sacrificed to what they consider a fictional witch. The people in charge tell the townspeople that they have to sacrifice one child to the woods every year so the witch who lives out in the bog will not destroy their city. Now, there actually is a witch. There's actually more than one witch in this story. But the story that the people in charge, the Council of Elders, tell the townspeople, as far as they're concerned, is completely made up. They just take a baby and leave it out in the woods, expecting that it'll die of the elements or succumb to wild animals or whatever. They don't believe that there is a witch out in the woods. There actually is a witch out in the woods, and she is not evil in any way. She's kind of would fall into that cottage witch, the lady who lives out on the edge of the swamp, the cottage witch in the forest who raises her chickens and goats and her herbs and her plants and does healings and concoctions for people in other cities, the free cities, not the protectorate. So every year they leave a baby, and the good witch does not know why there is a baby left in the woods about the same time every year, but she always rescues it and then takes it to the free cities to be adopted by a family who will love the abandoned child. Well, the story changes a little bit this time. She finds a baby and she loves her so much that she keeps her and raises her as her own. And this baby maybe already had some magic because her bio mom has magic, or maybe all of the magic is from Grandmama Witch. They don't really go into it other than the baby is fed moonlight and becomes so connected to the moon that she has the strongest magic possible. And the story is kind of beautiful with a supporting cast that makes sense. Whether magic is real, whether magic isn't real, there are other characters in the book who clearly have ties to magic, and the story is about defeating sorrow with hope, and just a beautiful magical story. So I would recommend The Girl Who Drank the Moon to anyone who is looking for a clean, non-graphic, beautifully written witch story, and this is one you could certainly share with children if you wanted. When I finished that, I started The Hour of the Witch, which is a completely different story. It's historical fiction, set in Boston, slightly after the Salem witch trials, about how, again, men in power use the witch ward to hurt women. And very different story. I'm not sure where I laid it. I would tell you the name of the author. Oh, here it is. This one, I'm not sure how to pronounce the author's last name. It's written by Chris Bajolian. I hope I'm reading that correctly. It was a New York Times bestseller. This is definitely adult historical fiction set in Boston, 1662. Also a good read, but very different from the first one. So let's get to the topic I wanted to concentrate on. I wasn't sure where to go this week. I'm still exploring Quakerism, and I've always identified as a Christian witch, and I have attended and visited many churches in my community. My original church that I grew up in really doesn't exist anymore. The building's there and they sell food, but I don't even think they have a priest anymore. We've tried some others. I've never been shunned away from things loudly because of my eclectic nature or my witchiness or my weirdness, but I'm not always well liked in our community. And again, that's more of a thing that the founding fathers, the people who consider themselves cradle as far as our families constructed this town in the 1800s, we are cradle in this church. We don't like outsiders. Ironically, like on my dad's side, they were founding fathers of this community too, but you get into this weirdness about, well, you grew up on the other side of the railroad tracks. We live up on the hill. That makes us better. I live up on the hill too. The cottage is up on what they consider hilltop here, which is considered like morally, which is kind of bullshit, but whatever. So I've never found a church in town that felt right, and then we wandered to the neighboring towns, and we even tried the evangelical thing for a bit, and that was a horrible fit, at least for me. Not so good for Kiddo either, because he kept getting attacked by other children in kids' church, getting punched in the face and stuff when he was a toddler, so that didn't work out so well. But I discovered Unitarian Universalism about that time, and the CLF, which is the online version, the online church of that. And I liked that so much for so many years. But then the head pastor there retired, and the other parts of the worship team just kind of disappeared. I'm not sure where. I really liked what they did, and then they brought in a new team, and it became much more humanist. For me, there isn't so much spirituality anymore. It's completely about social justice, and those are all important things. But it wasn't really what I was looking for, and with politics as they are, and ICE in this country and stuff like that, every sermon is just a request for more money so they can go out and protest and get arrested and stuff, and it's important work, but it doesn't necessarily resonate with what I was looking for anymore. So I was exploring some other things. The Gnostic church, the Gnostic people that I was following, that's kind of not resonating either. So maybe I'm kind of in a place where I'm searching for different stuff. I have nothing against Gnosticism. It's just the people that I was reading and following, what's going on with them just isn't resonating either. This is kind of spiraling. But so I'm still exploring Quakerism, and I had put up a post that, many Quaker meetings, the people just gather in a building and they sit in collective silence, trying to connect. Centering is a big deal in what they do. Centering and trying to connect to hear the voice of spirit. And honestly, in the witchy community, I think that we all sort of do that on our own, and then we connect on social media to share the signs that we see, the signs that we hear, and that inner voice of spirit, whatever it might be. I think we have our own way of doing that, and maybe that's enough for me, to be honest. So the main topic today is based on a meme I read this morning, and it's about signs in nature, signs, synchronicities. How does spirit connect? How do you connect with spirit? Now, because I am so in tune to nature, and the cottage is designed to be in tune with nature, we always, even with the chaos of getting a new roof this week, there's a new fairy circle out in in the yard with all the nails in the yard. Our roofer guy, the guy in charge, went around with this cool electromagnet to pick up all the nails, which was cool. When all the nails and things were in the yard, I was like, this is really going to disturb the fae that live here. But after they were done, I got a new fairy circle. So I guess we're good. I hope they're good. These other dimensions that share this space with me. So I hope they're good. The birds were kind of put off by the roofing, but they're back. So we have a new bird. We're not sure if it's a hybrid. I did like the bird finder, bird checker app on it, and I don't know, like red-winged blackbirds are very common around here. So they're a blackbird with this little red stripe on their wings. Now this bird we're seeing looks in shape just like those birds. But this bird is a pale red. It's not a scarlet tanager. I saw those earlier in the season. It's not a cardinal. We have those too. And yes, the females are more muted than the males, but it's not it. They're a different shape. These look like the blackbirds, but it's a pale red. And I have a lot of them coming here. So I'm trying to connect with them. They're new to me. So maybe some kind of hybrid. I'm trying to figure out like what the messages they have for me. The crows is clear when they come to visit. Even the bluebirds, that's clear when they come to visit. The hummingbirds that land on me, very clear when they come to visit. But I'm a little perplexed with these pale red birds and what their deal is. They are not nearly as friendly as my other visitors. So, trying to read the sign in the pale red birds. I am a cloud reader. I love weather divination. I love aeromancy. And with the strangeness, last night there was so much haze. The setting sun was even a different color last night. Trying to read signs in the haze, trying to read signs in the clouds. Now, I could do a podcast and a different lesson on all of these. The thing is, I could easily do it, but these things vary by culture. So if I share one method or even 3 methods, it may be different than someone else's method because divination does vary by region, area, and culture. So when I talk about these things, if it doesn't resonate with what you do, just keep doing what you're doing. I don't want anyone to ever be like influenced and feel that what they're doing is wrong because how I do it is different, because these things do vary and they are very personal. When I read clouds, it's very different than when I read tea leaves. When I read tea leaves, I have a very specific method for doing that. When I read clouds, it's more just like a direct connection of looking at the clouds, and it's more like sentient. What do I feel? It's that clairsentience about what am I feeling from the clouds, what am I feeling from the air current, the temperature, and what is it telling me? My husband and I are both pretty good at reading the weather, but sometimes it's more than that. Sometimes the sky can predict things that are coming, omens or good things that are coming. So sometimes I just go outside and try to feel the air. How does the air feel on my skin? How do the clouds look in the sky? And what feeling does that produce? And that's how I read with clouds. Some people, it's fun to look at clouds and say, that one looks like a dragon. That one looks like a car, that one looks like something else. And that's a different form of divination. But for me, it's, being claircognitive isn't always a gift. Knowing things before they happen, knowing what people are thinking before they do it. But clairsentience is also just clear feeling and knowing the feelings of the animals, trying to read these pale red birds, reading the clouds, reading the rocks. For me is more a clairsentient ability. What were the rocks subjected to? I'm air quoting as I say this. What do the rocks see? I'm sure the rocks don't visibly see like we do with our eyes, but I can pick up a rock and know what had happened in the vicinity, if that makes sense. It's more of a clear feeling. Now for other people, and even my extremely Catholic neighbors will pick up a dime and say, oh, the angel of my dad is near. Now if I say that, I'm oh, she's just a witch, blah, blah, blah. But they do the same thing that I do. They just do it differently, which is ironic. So that's one of the things, like people will pick up pennies or dimes and think it's a sign of spirit. Many people do it with feathers. The different colors of feathers represent angels or spirit visitation. Some people do it with rocks. With me, it's also scent. I'm clairaudient, which means I have psychic smelling or clear smelling. Not one of my favorite gifts at all, because sometimes it's unpleasant. The smells are unpleasant. But when I came home yesterday, I clearly smelled black licorice. Now, I know that my neighbor does not work with herbs in any way. I was going to ask her if they have black licorice over there. But black licorice is a smell that I relate to my dad because he carried black licorice with him around a lot. So that anise scent. So, sometimes my dad comes around in spirit. I've had conversations with him with the pendulum board. My son, Kiddo, has grown his red hair, his wavy red hair, very, very long as part of his spirituality. And one of the first times I contacted my dad with pendulum, my dad said to tell him to cut his hair, which is not going to happen. But I've had visits by my dad, so the anise smell was very strong, and so I pulled out the pendulum board thinking that Dad was here. So I reached out and called him by name and said, "Are you here?" I did all my casting and protection first before somebody says, "Oh, she didn't cast, she's calling in demons." I don't do that kind of work. And I said, "Are you here?" And I got a clear yes. And they're like, "Do you have a message for me?" Yes. And it was like, "Well, what's your message, Dad?" "I like your roof." "I like your new roof." Okay. So Dad popped in to say he likes the new roof. "Okay, thanks, Dad." And then that was about it. He also had a complaint, but we'll let that one slide. Dad is a complainer. So, if I get a scent, I sometimes know that there's spirit near that wants to contact with me. It's happened twice with my mom. For the longest time, I didn't get visits from Mom, and then I smell that horrible smell. I think it was called Emerald, something like that, perfume, which was like Mom's favorite. I'll get a whiff of that, or I'll get a whiff of Mom's cigarettes, and I know she's around. Mom doesn't always respond through the pendulum board. I still think there's a lot of anger there from Mom's been gone 10 years now. I think there's still a lot of anger. And but sometimes she comes through. It's just usually not very nice. So how do you connect with spirit? How do you connect with nature? I can read patterns in water, clouds, air, leaves on a tree or leaves on the ground, insects, animals, of course. Incense is a huge one for me, and we get a lot of fairy rings here. But I know that other people have other preferred ways of connecting with signs, connecting with nature. I am not so much a feather. We get feathers here all the time, and I always consider it a blessing. But I'm not so much a reader of signs and feathers. I don't see them as angel visits, but more as visitations and gifts from the birds, if that makes sense. But again, if other people do it different ways, that is absolutely cool and awesome. I see that my sound's fading out again. I was a little worried about that today. I was watching the graph, and I'm like, the last 3 times I've had excellent sound quality. My Wi-Fi is good today, but today the sound quality is a little wonky. So, however you read signs, I would love to hear back from you, and you can contact me on social media or through Gmail at The Holistic Witch, and let me know how you read signs in nature. My big one is birds. Birds, patterns of birds in the sky, how the birds are flying, and sometimes bird song, bird sound. But I have other methods too. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, blessings on your journey. No big plans for this weekend. I think hubby and I are visiting the town about 20 minutes away. We have a lot of cardboard to take to recycling, and we might go fishing and some chai latte maybe in my future. Wherever you are, blessings on your journey. That sound is fading out. Bye-bye.